Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and first off, I am not that great in carriers. I'm only really decent in Graf Zeppelin, just because played it so much, and because I use the secondaries, sometimes more than the planes in it. And it was surprising to me that Wargaming released the Indomitable over I think they released it on Friday or something, and the Indomitable is not what I was expecting it to be. I don't really keep up on carriers too much, but it's a Tier 8 carrier that only has 2 squadrons, and you don't have a whole lot of planes. I think with the dive bomb, well, not dive bomb, the carpet bombing squadron, I think it's only like 4 planes in a flight. And with the rocket planes, I think it's like six or eight. I think it's 6. It's really low, but they are fast. I gotta give them that. You can get them up and rocking around 220-ish knots with the engine boost activated, and of course with modules and flags, you can of course get them even faster. But at the end of the day, you have a carrier that you only have 10 planes between your 2 squadrons. That's not a lot of planes. And yes, they're fast. And on top of that, you don't have any torpedo bombers. It's all just carpet bombers for some reason. And this would be a bit better if they had, a squadron of rocket planes than 2 squadrons of carpet bombers. That would make a lot more sense. And you could keep them at this very low numbers as well, because I think there used to be a configuration back in the day with the RTS carriers for Enterprise where it was like just dive bombers. And it'd be kind of neat to see that come back in a way here with the Indomitable, and maybe allow people to configure the exact loadout of their carriers' planes again. And I know I did a whole spiel about carriers yesterday, but we're just looking at these 2 ships today. So, anyway, Indomitable it's an interesting concept. I don't think the reload time on the planes is fast enough for this to really work, because your planes, with having so few planes, you have such a small margin of error before you're screwed. And as you're seeing in the replay here, which was funnily enough, there's actually my best game in the Indomitable. It was actually my first game in it too. Anyways, you have such a small margin of error to where if you slip up, you're just done. You're out of planes, and you got to wait for more. And yes, it's going to take a wave or two before it gets to that. But when you're a Tier 8 carrier that gets put into Tier 9 and Tier 10 games, even though your planes are fast, AA at higher tiers is extremely, extremely dense nowadays with the Worcester, the Puerto Rico, Alaska, Smolensk, and that's just naming a few of the big plane blenders at Tier 10. It's kind of meh. Because yes, you can get through. You may only get 1 strike off, but yes, you can get through the AA. But then with the size of the squadron and the amount of planes, you're out. And I think the recharge time base is like 110, 111 seconds, which that's just actually just under 2 minutes. And again, with modules and builds, you can get that down, but I mean, that's not a very fast recharge time. So you're going to run out of planes if you're not a good carrier player. And again, I'm not. And I'm not saying a premium should be instant win. I'm just saying that it's not very forgiving. Just know that when you're going into it, if you are planning on getting the Indomitable. And I'm mainly focusing on the planes, because with carriers, the carrier is really just a freaking glorified landing strip, unless it's like the Graf Zeppelin, because once a destroyer finds you, you're pretty much dead either way. Again, unless it's the Graf Zeppelin. But anyway, looking at the Ark Royal, the Tier 6 British Premium CV, and in my opinion, a much better ship, she's pretty memey. You have Tier 4 planes to do most of your damage with the Swordfish, dive bombers, and torpedo bombers, but on the bright side, you get a lot of them. I mean, just look at the squadron size you're seeing on the screen now compared to what you're looking at with the Indomitable. The Ark Royal, you get a decent amount of planes. They are ungodly slow, don't get me wrong. I think I managed to get them up to about 100 knots cruising, but if not, I think they're somewhere around 80, 90. I think I got a couple of flags and some modules equipped. And again, you can do that with the Indomitable and make the plane stupid fast, of course. But anyway, it's weird. They're tier 4 planes, but some of my best matches in carriers have been in the Ark Royal, and I'm never recording usually when I'm playing because I don't expect to do that good because it's got tier 4 planes. But I'll get up tiered to tier 8 games with a tier 6 carrier with tier 4 planes. The planes are 4 tiers up tiered, and I'll get 90,000 damage with tier 4 planes against tier 8 ships. Yeah. It's this weird combination of you do have a lot of planes, you do have a really fast recharge time. I think they're like 59, 60 seconds on the Ark Royal. And plus the planes are so daggone slow that by the time you get one wave to your target, if you're going between the rocket planes and the carpet bombers, you get one wave there. By the time you've gotten there and gotten your attack off, planes have mostly recharged already back on the carrier. And it does take a really long game to get to where I don't have any planes left in the Ark Royal. I've actually never ran out. I've had very few planes, like just 2 or 3 per flight. But it's that, and the bombs on the Ark Royal are actually pretty good. You get they're 40-pound bombs, but you do drop a lot of them in each salvo, to where I've had some hits on certain ships, mainly French battleships, that have been around 10,000-12,000 damage, and that's with most of the bombs hitting. Those are fairly rare strikes, but sometimes it happens. Unfortunately, I've never caught it on recording, but it does happen. Whereas in the Indomitable, you do have a bigger bomb, but less planes, and less bombs, which means each bomb, it hurts that much more when you miss it. It's the same with battleship guns. Yes, for example, the Leon, it has very small guns, but it has friggin' 16 of them. So, if you're hitting your targets with most of your guns, you're going to do a lot of damage, even though it's fairly small. And again, depending upon the ship and the armor and all that you're shooting at. But then you have something like the Georgia, where you have bigger guns, and you do have, mathematically, more damage per salvo, but when just one shell misses, it hurts that much more. So the same thing applies here with the Ark Royals dive bombers and the carpet bombers of the Indomitable. On top of that, the Ark Royal has torpedoes, unlike the Indomitable. And torpedoes are very important, not for just doing damage, but if you want a ship to change the direction they're going, to maybe either steer them away from your carrier or maybe open up their broadside to your team. Torpedoes are perfect for that. The dive bombers, some ships will just choose to eat them, which, I mean, they don't really do that much damage per bomb in the first place. In the Indomitable game, which I think you should be seeing again here, I wound up getting like around 1,000 damage per bomb, if that. I think it was something like 40 or 50 bomb hits, and then like another 30 or 40 rocket hits. And I think the damage was like somewhere around 60,000 damage, which isn't a whole lot of damage considering the amount of hits I managed to score on target. Plus, it's difficult to aim with the carpet bombers because I don't know what's up with British bombs, but they defy gravity and take forever to fall out of the sky. I don't know if they drop like parachutes or something behind them, but they take forever to fall, and that was screwing with me. But anyway, it just seems like the Ark Royal is just a better carrier, and again, I'm not a good carrier player. And I have better games in Ark Royal than I do in Indomitable. And plus, the name's a lot easier to say because Ark Royal is Ark Royal, and Indomitable is Indomitable. Indomitable. It's kind of a tongue twister if you sit there and think about it. But anyway, if you guys are looking for my opinion of these two ships, Ark Royal, I think, is the better ship for its tier. Because sure, Indomitable has fast planes, bigger bombs, better rocket planes, but when you get up to tier 10 and you only have 10 planes you can put in the sky, it's not that great. Now, don't get me wrong, Ark Royal can then get up to tier 8, which again is 4 tiers above where most of its planes are at. But it still does better, just because you have more planes. And I don't know if the speed of the Swordfish actually helped like it did against the Bismarck in real life, where they're so dang slow, messing with the AA. But that speed is, you can slow it down really slow and get some really tight turns in with the bombers and torpedo bombers. So there is that too. Where with the Indomitable, you're kind of just hoping you don't overshoot your target, because I'm sure as you guys have seen, I did that plenty of times when I was playing it. But yeah, I would recommend the Ark Royal over the Indomitable. It's got more planes, it's funner in my opinion, it does better, you have much better, it has really good alpha, and you have, of course, torpedo bombers, which you don't have in the Ark Royal, in the Indomitable, so you can't torpedo anything, you can't convince them to maneuver in a way that they didn't want to maneuver originally. But yeah, that's my opinion, and that's my review of, quick review of both these ships. I don't play carriers all that much, so I can't really go in depth with it's like this and this like I can with battleships. But in my professional, kind of really average, actually below average, carrier player opinion, Ark Royal is the better ship, and if you're looking to get a British carrier, get that. I wouldn't really recommend Indomitable unless you really know what you're doing. I'm sure some of you hardcore carrier players have already made up your mind on the Indomitable, but that's my 2 cents on it. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're having a great Monday. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 8,000 subscribers now. Recently blew past 7,000, and I cannot thank you guys for that enough. Alright, guys, hope you're having a great day. Hope to catch all of you guys in the next one.